Most of the people who came had only a shopping bag with perhaps one change of clothing, no money, knowing nobody. It was one of the most inhuman things that I have ever seen.
My mother was told she was going to have better everything. She was going to have a job and she was going to be able to support her family, and her children was going to be able to get an education, be able to go to school. That alone was not the truth.
Throughout the summer and fall of 1962, hundreds of Black Americans arrived at Cape Cod, Massachusetts, near the summer home of President John F. Kennedy. They arrived in their Sunday best, dresses, pearls, white hats. They had little else packed for what they expected to be a permanent move, mostly because they had little else. Segregationists from southern states convinced them to travel to Massachusetts on buses by promising the world. Jobs, permanent housing, a new life, a meeting with President John F. Kennedy. None of that happened. These people, women and men and children, were lured, lied to, and sent to Massachusetts with nothing. Kennedy wasn't there to greet them, but the Cape Cod NAACP was, because they caught wind of the trick. The whole thing, if you can believe it, was on purpose. Real people with real lives and real human needs were used as pawns in a game concocted by white segregationist Southern leaders who were angry about the push for racial integration. They were angry about the activism of the Freedom Riders in 1961, who aimed to integrate interstate bus travel. They were so angry that they punished innocent people on purpose, putting them on what they called reverse freedom rides back up north.
The ultimate accomplishment, of course, has already been obtained, and that is to focus attention on the hypocrisy of the Northern liberals and the NAACP, Urban League, and people like that especially.
We intend to continue it until those people in the majority tell those politicians we are through with this foolishness about civil rights and things that you're using for political purposes.
You might say that we are seeing something eerily similar play out today, just in color, and this time targeting another group of people of color, immigrants.
We are not a sanctuary state, and it's better to be able to go to a sanctuary jurisdiction. And yes, we will help facilitate that transport for you to be able to go to greener pastures. And all those people in D.C. and New York were beating their chests when Trump was president, saying they were so proud to be sanctuary jurisdictions, saying how bad it was to have a secure border. The minute even a small fraction of what those border towns deal with every day is brought to their front door, they all of a sudden go berserk.
Yesterday, Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis flew 50 migrants to Martha's Vineyard, a small island off the Massachusetts coast. The governor used some of the $12 million the state legislature set aside for transporting migrants out of the state of Florida. The planes reportedly originated in San Antonio, Texas, but stopped briefly in Florida first. Many of the migrants that Florida flew to Martha's Vineyard were told they were headed to Boston, which means yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis became the third Republican governor, joining the likes of Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Arizona Governor Doug Ducey in trying to turn our nation's immigration system into some kind of political prank, using people as pawns to own the libs and prove once and for all that Democrat-led states and cities are not actually sanctuaries for migrants. He'll show those states. NBC got a chance to talk with one of the migrants who arrived at Martha's Vineyard yesterday.
El suceso de las últimas 24 horas. Cuéntame, cuando llegaste, ¿cómo pasó todo? Desde que estabas en Estados Unidos, en la tierra de Estados Unidos, ahora aquí en esta isla que es parte del estado de Massachusetts.
Bueno, llegamos a San Antonio, 7000. Ahí nos ofrecieron la ayuda de venir. De allí vinimos, duramos 2 días en un hotel. Ya de ahí para acá nos trasladaron hasta acá. Nos dijeron que llegáramos a Boston. De Boston, nunca llegamos a Boston, pero llegamos aquí. Y ya, eso fueron las 24 horas más inciertas que hemos tenido.
¿Te preocupabas?
Miedo, más que preocupación, miedo, porque no sabíamos a dónde íbamos a llegar.
Scared, worried, and deceived. It is the year 2022. But this stunt echoes what we saw 60 years ago when segregationist Southerners bussed Black Americans up to Massachusetts. We are again seeing a group of disenfranchised Black and brown people used as pawns because the vision of those very same Black and brown people being fully integrated into American society is terrifying to certain conservative leaders. Bye.